guys, welcome back to my channel. This is like the most awkward intro I've ever done because obviously, probably by the title, this isn't a super fun video that I'm making or a video I thought I would ever have to make. So it sucks because I feel like I haven't been on YouTube or as active on YouTube for a while and then come back with this. So I guess I want to start this video just by saying thank you. I think a lot of you probably follow me on Instagram as well, and just the outpour of love and support that I have received after sharing my diagnosis has been absolutely incredible. It's really hard for me to even communicate how much it means to me, how much it means to my family, that you guys are just so supportive and you're keeping me in your thoughts and your prayers and sending well wishes. And there's a handful of you too who have struggled or are currently battling cancer in such a scary and crazy time in my life. I've never felt so loved and so supportive and so seen, and I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Also, side note, I feel like I make these side notes in probably every YouTube video, but my 3-year-old is watching a movie right next door, and so you can probably hear it throughout this video, so sorry, just try to block it out. I also am still filming on my iPhone because, as you know from my last video, my Sony broke, so this is what we got. Before I get into it, the second thing I wanted to communicate, and I feel like I don't have to say this, but I'm going to anyway, I'm not making this video for sympathy. I'm not making this video because I want people to feel bad for me, or, you know, there was a part of me that didn't even want anyone to know about this, but I decided to post it on my Instagram and share my story, mostly because I feel like my subscribers, my followers are my friends and my family, and I want them to know how I'm doing. So just want to make this to make people aware of like what I went through, the symptoms, and just be aware of your body, listen to your body. If something feels wrong, if something feels off, you're probably right, and go see your doctor, go see your naturopath, or, you know, whatever you choose to do. One of the biggest things I've learned from this is I'm so freaking glad I saw my doctor when I did. I really just want to bring awareness to that, and I also want to comfort others who are going through a hard time. Maybe you just found out you're diagnosed with thyroid cancer, you've had thyroid cancer, you have thyroid problems. Maybe you are battling cancer and your diagnosis is way worse than mine. I'm totally rambling. I should have wrote notes of how to even do this video, but after hearing my cancer diagnosis, I just a whole new world opened up to me about how many people on this earth are battling cancer and how many people have left this earth because of cancer. Some family members, some friends that I've loved dearly have passed away from cancer, and it's so scary. And I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but you just never think it's gonna happen to you, you know? Think of a man or woman or a little girl or a little boy right now that's sitting in a hospital bed who has it way worse than I do, and I just because you feel so helpless, you know? You just and of course you're blaming it on well, is it something I ate? Is it something I did? Your brain just can't go there. I'm really lucky to have the cancer I have because most of the time after surgery it's very successful and people live long, healthy lives, but that is not the case for a lot of people. And I just want to, if maybe you're watching this right now and you are scared to death and you have a scary diagnosis or whatever the case may be, for the situation, my heart goes out to you. And just know that you're not alone, that you are seen, that you're loved, and you're okay to feel the feelings that you feel. You're okay, you know, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be scared, it's okay to be angry. Feel all those feelings, go through those emotions. You can, and you're allowed to, and do it. But don't stay there. Don't stay there, because you were put on this earth for a purpose. You're not put on this earth to just have cancer. That is not just who you are. Just because of a bad diagnosis does not mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean, I didn't mean for this to be some motivational speech, but it just really, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I've been thinking about people who have it worse than I do, and I just I get so emotional just thinking about it. And just know that you can feel those feelings, because I felt bad for feeling those feelings for a little bit, but it's cancer is cancer. It's not a good thing to hear ever, you know? And so it's okay to be angry for a little bit. It's okay to just cry a lot. But I had to learn to not stay there, to not stay in that moment. I know you and I are made for something greater, way bigger, way greater than cancer, way bigger and greater than a diagnosis, than any circumstance, you know? Okay, sorry. Anyway, have got a lot of messages since my diagnosis about, you know, how did I find out? How did my doctors find it? And I want to be open and share my kind of the journey so far of how I got here and how I got the diagnosis. So back in September, I went to my primary care doctor. I hadn't seen a primary care doctor in probably a year at that point. I had like my midwife center that I went to a lot for like women health after I had my son, but my primary care doctor had retired, and so I hadn't had a doctor for a while. So I found a really great doctor close to where I lived, went and saw her in September because I was feeling so incredibly tired all the time. It was one of those tired's where it was like, no matter how much sleep I get, I could go to sleep at 8 p.m. and I'm still so exhausted the next day. I was feeling really foggy and like almost like I was dreaming all the time. Like I didn't feel fully present. I would forget a lot of things. I was just messing up a lot. Like just forget the most like mundane things. And to be 100% honest with you, I thought it was like an ADD issue because I was diagnosed with ADD when I was probably in middle school and tried medication here and there. I only used it when I had like finals or things coming up that I really needed the medication for. And so since then I hadn't really thought about ever going back on medication, but I thought maybe, okay, maybe after kids or maybe since I'm getting older, I just need a little more help with my attention. I don't know. That's just what I thought. Also, I should add, I already struggle with anxiety, but it was really bad. Like I was getting anxious out of nowhere a lot. Days where I was super moody and like borderline depressed, and I hadn't had depression or anything like that since I was probably in high school. So here I am, 26 years old, and I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Like why my life is fine. Like I don't understand why I'm so moody and anxious and all these things. So I went to my doctor, I told her everything, and she was like, you know what, all the symptoms that you're telling me sounds a little bit more like a thyroid issue. I don't know if it's necessarily your ADD. I do have a few close friends in my life who have thyroid issues, but it never clicked with me that might be the problem. So she checked my thyroid and she found a lump. And she was like, you do have a lump like on your right side, but it's very common in women. It's like, I don't want you to freak out. I know you're anxious about things. I know you struggle with anxiety, but I don't want you to freak out. I think we should just maybe get some blood work done, get you in an ultrasound, and just see how things are going. So I got blood work done, I got the test results back, and off the chart. Like, here's the range of where my thyroid should be, and it was like in the red all the way over here. It was really bad. And so she was like, yeah, because you have a lump, that could mean maybe an autoimmune disease, whatever. She's like, we're not gonna know for sure until an ultrasound, and then, we might need to do a biopsy on this larger one down here. And still at that point, like, cancer's not even in my brain. I'm thinking maybe I have an autoimmune disease. Maybe I will eventually need surgery. But, I did my Google research and I was like, an autoimmune disease, I have all those symptoms, whatever. Seriously did not even, obviously, like who, So fast forward, I get the ultrasound, they send the results back to my doctor, and she's like, they really want to do a biopsy on this bottom one. Everything else looks like, because of the size and everything, they look okay, but this one down below, because it's a little harder and it's a little bigger, we're gonna want to do a biopsy. What's funny about this is she called me with those results probably November, and since I'm stubborn and the holidays were coming up, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll schedule a biopsy. November goes by, I didn't schedule it. December goes by, I didn't schedule it. I don't know if it was a little ounce of fear in me that just didn't want to know, or what had happened. I truly think the timing was absolutely perfect because my family and I went to Disney World, and I can't even imagine finding out I had cancer before we had that family vacation. I think that family vacation was so needed, and that time together was so precious that I honestly think it was God's timing that I didn't find out before then. In a way, I'm glad I procrastinated and dragged my feet on getting the biopsy, because I don't even know if that trip even would have happened after I found out. So I actually ended up scheduling the biopsy right before we left for Florida for a January appointment, because I was getting some symptoms of just being super tired again, and I had days where I was really depressed. Like, there was a day I literally stayed home from work because I was just feeling super, super low. You know what? No, my biopsy wasn't January. Sorry. My consultation for my biopsy with my ear, nose, and throat doctor was in January. That's what happened. I'm sorry. My primary doctor had to refer me to an ear, nose, and throat doctor who then had to schedule a biopsy. It was a lot of hoops to jump through. That's probably why I procrastinated, because I didn't want to call all those people. So I met with my ear, nose, and throat doctor January. He then scheduled the biopsy for February 12th. I had my biopsy done February 12th. It was a little uncomfortable. They numbed the area and then put 3 needles in it to get like a sample of it, of the cells or whatever that scientific thing they do. I don't know. Another like ironic God timing thing. My husband and I had already planned for February 13th. We were going to take a personal day and we were going to drive to the South Center Mall, which was like 45 minutes from our house. And I was going to go to the Morphe store and get the new Jaclyn Hill palette because it launched on that day. And so February 13th comes around. We drop the kids off at school. We go get coffee. We head to South Center. I stood in front of the Morphe store until it opened. I got the palette, took some pictures. Like, we were just having a great morning. And then we had left the Morphe store. We were just walking around the mall, and I'll never forget it. We were in the line for Starbucks and my phone rang. And I looked at it and I knew it was my doctor's office. And I just felt like this rush of like anxiety, I guess what it is, but like that warmth rush feeling where you're so nervous, because I was like, that it hasn't even been 24 hours since my biopsy. Like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know what I mean? So I just like stared at my phone, and Nick was like, answer it. And so I walked out of the Starbucks, picked up the phone. Hey Alex, so yeah, we got your biopsy results back. And I remember being like, oh, that was quick, you know, like trying to be all bubbly or whatever. And once he said the word unfortunately, I knew exactly what he was about to say. He said, yeah, well, unfortunately, you do have some thyroid cancer. My nurse is gonna call you in a few minutes and I'd like to set up a meeting with you and your family next week. And like, it's bad enough hearing you have cancer, but when he said family, it just like, I immediately wanted to throw up just thinking of having to like, having to like call my mom and dad and tell them I have cancer. Like, whoever wants to do that? Am I gonna tell my 9-year-old? How is she gonna receive that, you know? The doctor was so sweet over the phone. He was like, you know, I know this is, I know you're probably going through a lot of different emotions and thoughts right now, because this is never something anyone wants to hear, but, you know, you're in the best care and it's gonna be okay. And so I hang up the phone and Nick comes walking out, and he can just like, I just break down like literally in the middle of this mall. And he's like, what is it? And so I told him, and we just sat on this bench in the middle of a mall, and I just like, I don't think I've ever cried so hard in my entire life, just like sobbing in my hands. It's just like the whole world, like I feel like there was probably a lot of people around me staring at me and like, why is this girl crying at 10 a.m. and I'm in the middle of a mall? I swear like the whole world just went silent. Like it's so crazy how in an instant your whole life can change. After that, I was like, can we just get in the car and drive? Like, let's just, I don't want to sit in this mall much longer. I need to just get out of here for a little bit and just kind of recollect my thoughts. And, you know, I told my family, we called our pastor, and some of you who follow me on Instagram know this story, but we were driving. Nick was like, look up a tattoo shop. Like, we're gonna go get tattoos today. This is our way of coping. And we were driving, and I was thinking about a tattoo that I might want. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to get a butterfly. I love the meaning of them, and just like a cute tattoo I've always wanted to get. So we get to this tattoo shop I found, and the owner is super friendly, and we see that she has a button on her shirt that says F cancer. And we both just kind of like looked at each other and smiled, and we didn't tell her why we were there. A cool little sign, you know, it kind of felt like, you know, we're supposed to be here right now, you know? Show the artist what I want, and we're sitting in the waiting room. And of course I just start Googling, you know, all about thyroid cancers, the different types, the different stages, and I have it up on my phone, and Nick looks over and he was like, do you like see what that says? Are you reading this? And I was like, what? It's a butterfly shaped organ. And I was like, oh my God, a butterfly shaped organ. Like, I was like, what? I'm reading like some other articles and stuff like that, and the top of the article is a butterfly. Like, a butterfly is a symbol for thyroid cancer survivors. And I'm just sitting there like, what the heck? Like, no idea that it was called like the butterfly shaped organ. Didn't know that the butterfly is the symbol for thyroid cancer survivors. And it was just crazy emotional moments that felt so seen in that moment. Like, here I am in a tattoo shop an hour after I heard I have cancer, getting a random butterfly that actually is not random at all. It means so much. Now carries so much meaning for me and those around me. And so just so wild. So that day was like one of the worst days of my life, but honestly, in a weird way, one of the best. Like, it was just such a good day with my husband. crying, laughing, shopping, getting tattoos, and just trying to make sense of what our world is about, you know, to look like. And so fast forward to a week, I finally see my doctor. That week was hell up until that appointment. I'm not gonna lie, I was so anxious because, you know, you hear that you have thyroid cancer. Okay, I don't really know what that means. I don't know when the surgery is going to be. I don't know if I need radiation. I don't know how bad it is. I don't know what kind of thyroid cancer. Like, so many thoughts were going in my mind. So I see my doctor finally, and I'm officially diagnosed with papillary thyroid cancer, which is, I believe, the most common type of thyroid cancer, typically found in women from their 20s up until their early 60s. Specific thyroid cancer is usually very successful with surgery. The percentages are pretty low for anything ever coming back, especially since I am getting my full thyroid removed. My doctor expressed to me he doesn't really know the stage or if it might have spread to my lymph nodes or anything like that really until surgery. He's pretty confident that it's just stayed in one location, which would be amazing. We could just get it out and not have to do radiation or anything. Another like weird, ironic sign. It's not really weird or ironic, it's totally God. I believe it is. My surgery is March 18th, and that is my great-grandmother's birthday, who passed away of throat, lung, and thyroid cancer. I know she will for sure be looking after me during that. I pretty much think that's like the full length time period of everything that has happened, and it's only been like 3 weeks since I found out, and it's just been such a whirlwind and crazy. And some days I have really good days, and some days I have really emotional and bad days, but even on the bad days I'm grateful. I know that's so crazy to say, like, why are you grateful you have cancer? You know, I definitely don't want to have this, and I definitely want it to go away. I have a whole new perspective on life. I have a whole new sense of gratitude for the people around me. It sucks that stuff like this has to happen for people to feel this way. It's opened my heart up and opened my mind up to a whole new way of thinking and feeling, and that's kind of my word vomit of a video for you right now, where I'm at in my raw, authentic feelings and raw, authentic self right now. I hope this helps some of you who are currently going through something, or maybe you're trying to figure out your health journey. Maybe it's your thyroid, maybe it's something completely different, but I feel like no matter what area of your life you need healing, we're all in this together. You know, you could need healing from a toxic relationship, you could need healing from cancer, you could need healing from disease, flu, you know, whatever it may be that you're struggling with. It's just good to feel like you're not alone, because it can feel so lonely and so hard, you know. But I feel like it's important to know that you truly don't know what others are going through. You don't know what battles and storms they're facing, but at the end of the day, I truly believe it's going to be okay. And the things that we face in this life, things that make us stronger and are part of our story and equip us to encourage others and be there for others and listen to others in a different way than we would have listened to before, because we've walked through something that's hard. You know, it makes you who you are. I didn't necessarily want cancer to be the reason that I found this like new strength and new hope in a way, but this is a part of my story, and I think that's important too. It's like, no matter what you're going through, that's not who you are. Again, going back to like, don't stay there, because that's not who you are. It's something you're going through. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of your story. And the things you have gained from that, which is, you know, strength, empathy, wisdom, you know, all of those things you can hold on to and take with you as you keep growing. You can look back and be like, wow, remember that? That freaking sucked. But wow, am I grateful. That's where I'm at. I hope this made sense. This is probably gonna be brutal to edit and want to post, but I think it's important to sit here and talk about it, and to really open up about how I'm feeling. And I'm hoping March 18th I will be cancer free. I'm believing in that. So thank you. I love you. Thank you for all your prayers. I would love some more prayers, good vibes, well wishes for my surgery. I've never been under or had this kind of major surgery before, so I'm a little anxious about it, but obviously want to get this cancer out of me, so I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you for watching, and hopefully my next video that's going to be on YouTube, I will be cancer-free. Alright, I don't even know how to end this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for just being with me on this journey. I'll see you soon.